Welcome to a review of episode Intermission. But before we start, are you Team Aerith or Team Tifa? It's very important you get this right, so who did you go with? Aerith? Well, you're wrong. Good thing you picked Tifa though, right? Wrong! The correct answer is Red 13. Well, since you've made it this far, I can only hope you see the light. There won't be any story spoilers, but I will assume you know the combat and RPG mechanics of Final Fantasy VII Remake. The DLC largely plays the same, with a few improvements and a new minigame. But the enemy targeting system still remains an issue. The quick and short of it is, if you liked FF7 Remake, then you'll like this too. But if you want to hear a little more, then feel free to stay a while. Episode Intermission starts just after Chapter 7 in the base game, but also ends well before Remake is finished. In terms of how much it covers, it's pretty brief and it bypasses many major events, so it's best to complete Remake first. Over the course of the 2-chapter DLC, you'll assume the role of Yuffie Kisaragi, a Wutai ninja who wants to bring down not just Shinra, but the entirety of Midgar, and to do that she plans to steal the ultimate materia that Shinra's been cooking up in their labs. Despite being 16, she still hasn't learned how to button up her shorts. Don't look too hard though, you may go to prison. She may be full of herself and her pants may fall down at any moment, but her skills as a ninja is never in question. She can hang with the best fighters out there. The juxtaposition of a naive and bright-eyed teenager next to a more level-headed and grounded compatriot who has seen some things highlights the trauma that comes with war. It was a great dynamic that worked very well, and even though they repeat some lines from time to time, the banter was good. It also helped that the voice acting was fantastic. I played with the English voices, and I thought they did an exceptional job.
None can escape the wrath of the ninja!
Want to overreact a little more?
Yuffie is a very adept fighter, skilled at both creating space and closing the distance. Attack, block, and dodge remain the bread and butter of any encounter, but you can also activate one of her elemental ninjutsus to cover her spellcasting needs. It's the same great blend of action and tactical elements using the slowdown time mechanic. The enemy targeting, however, is still kinda bad. It feels like it's trying to work with you, but then it's distracted by a squirrel. I hope they fix this in Rebirth, but more on this later. One big difference is you can no longer take control of other characters like you could in the base game. Instead, you can only issue commands for them to follow. It might be disappointing since you're missing out on some variety, but since the DLC is pretty short, it never got stale just playing as Yuffie. The gear and materia customization is pretty limited, but it's not something you should neglect. Spending skill points to upgrade your weapon provides a significant boost in stats. You'll also get access to a lot more materia from the start, so you basically skip the collecting phase, which is really nice. The side quests are a little silly, but they're an improvement over the base game's uninspiring fetch quests. Chadley is still there with his simulation, but you won't find many VR battles to partake in. Collectible manuscripts will also not be available until your second playthrough on hard. The best new added side content is without a doubt Fort Condor, which is an awesome minigame that lets you challenge some of your favorite NPCs in this tower defense / Clash of Clans style board game, where you try and destroy your opponent's towers. Each unit will have one strength and one weakness and battle using a rock, paper, scissors system. It's super simple and really fun, and I definitely didn't spend more time than I needed to on it. There is also a familiar minigame in the Shinra Tower, similar to the one you encounter as Cloud. However, since Yuffie's weapon is a shuriken, the targeting system becomes a problem. It was tolerable during combat, but it's horrendous here, like rip your hair out infuriating. I sincerely hope this gets fixed, or I may avoid playing as Yuffie if I can help it. As always, the music is awesome. I love the music from Remake, and more of that is a good thing. The performance, I'm happy to say, was also good. Frame rates hold nice and steady, with the only stuttering happening when the game hits an autosave checkpoint, so not a big deal really. I did encounter a bug where my screen would turn white and I couldn't do anything except pull up the menu and exit the game. Luckily, that resolved the issue. It happened a couple of times, but it didn't bother me much. Thankfully, I didn't lose much progress since the game has a decent autosave feature. I played on PC, which is by far the most fickle platform, so you may not encounter this at all. And that about sums up Yuffie's DLC. The only real new thing they added was the Fort Condor minigame, which was so much fun, and I hope to see more of that at some point. At around 7 hours long, this serves as an introduction to the energetic Wutai ninja. The additional perspectives and extra story beats are a lovely addition to the world building and helps further cement my investment into the Final Fantasy VII universe. The DLC does touch on a couple key moments, but is otherwise an optional standalone experience. Upon completion, you'll be rewarded with an extended cutscene, and if you were lucky enough to be unspoiled like I was, it was definitely a nice surprise. If you played FF7 Remake and liked it, then I highly recommend playing this before jumping into Rebirth. And if you haven't played Remake yet, then play that first. You can see my review of that here. As always, if you like this video, you can give me a thumbs up to help me out, and subscribe to me because I'm poor. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.